Good morning. How is everybody? Thank you all for being here. Well, it's a cold, cold, cold morning where we're at. I just checked the weather. It was 35 degrees, so that's a little chilly. We'll give it a second and let people come in. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the skin tax situation that's going on in the world. Get your opinion about it. Is it a factor? Is it something that you give any thought to? Has it ever negatively or positively affected you? Skin tax, yeah. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to let some people get in here first. Hope everybody's morning is doing good. It's a beautiful morning here. It's just cold. Feels like winter is truly coming, even though it's still fall. It is a Friday, so it's always busy in this part of the world on a Friday. A lot of people going shopping, 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 shopping. They spend their hard-earned money on food and necessities. So food, hello and welcome. Thank you. Give us a thumbs up as you pop in, everyone. So skin tax. Let's talk about skin tax. Because I have some interesting thoughts or maybe views on skin tax. Maybe it's something you guys have never dealt with or thought of dealing with. But I got a feeling you have in one way or the other. So, but thank you, the two in the background, and thank you for the ones thumbs up. Give us a chat. Drop us a chat in there and let us know if you know what skin tax is. Have you ever heard of something referred to as skin tax? That's the real question. Because I know it gets talked about a lot. I think there's skin tax is maybe a three-sided coin. I don't know, but it's definitely a topic that can be discussed. We hope everybody's going to have a great day today. 3 people in the house so far. We're just getting started. Going to give it a bit of time here. I got a feeling it's going to be a really lazy day for me. I'm still having a pinched nerve in my back, so I'm having all kinds of fits. So if you see me squirm or acting kind of weird, it's probably because I'm dying in pain. Jack is in the house. He is saying yo instead of hello. Yo is an American term for hello. It says it right there in the dictionary. 4 people, 2 thumbs up. So yeah, have you guys ever experienced skin tax? And then do you know what a tariff is? Is there such of a thing as a skin tariff? I think there is, but it's probably not how you think. So that's what we want to talk about for a little bit today. Jack, how are you in the Philippines? I saw that you were doing a gaming live stream. How's that going? And so here's part of the questions. Does every country have a skin tax? Or just is it kind of isolated and known for the Asian countries? Or is a skin tax worldwide? Is what I'm going to call a skin tariff worldwide? 5 people currently watching. Give us a couple more thumbs up if you guys will, and drop us a chat there. Let me know if you think there's such thing as a skin tax. Kind of, kind of, kind of, kind of. It's in the same family, that's correct. But it's not quite a tax, but it's very similar. So, do we have skin tax? Is there a tariff? Tariff is on like a larger scale, and a tax is on a smaller scale. Jack says I get skin tax all the time, but he gets the reverse card. That's where I go. So maybe yours would be an embargo. Well, but I think it's not just about the individual, but it's about a culture. And that's kind of where there's a dividing line between schools of thought. A lot of schools are thought of, oh, well, I know I'm going to get taxed. I'm going to have the skin tax. Hello, HDN. Good morning to you, my friend. So, a lot of pain today, buddy. I tell you what, I don't know. I thought my back was getting better, but holy crap. So, one school of thought basically is, hey, we know that it's there. We should just deal with it and move on and not worry or care about it. Another school of thought is, well, it's wrong no matter who it's done to, so it shouldn't be done. Should the governments of places have more say into the skin tax, preventing it? And then, of course, does it matter how much the skin tax is? If it's a couple of pennies or a couple of dollars, does it matter? Or is it right or wrong depending on the amount that you have to pay? And we've traveled a whole bunch and we've been charged a skin tax many a times. Some of our favorite places to go charge us a skin tax. But there's other taxes that people get charged when they're traveling too. So the real question is it truly a skin tax, or is it a travel tax? Because when we went to Aruba is predominantly white. We got the tourist tax, which is the same thing as a skin tax, I think. Except for the fact, it's skin tax, you want to label it, you're saying I'm taxing you because you're a different color. Well, the only reason they know I'm a different color is because the color of the skin of everybody, right? So, but I'm still a tourist. I'm still there visiting Japan, whatever it may be. So the assumption is you have more money, right? That's how I say it. So they assume in Malaysia that they can get away with charging me extra money on that mango because of the color of my skin. Other countries, they look at it going, well, we can take extra money from you. You have to pay more for that mango just because you're a tourist. All right. So if it's okay to charge people more money because they're tourists, then isn't it okay to charge more money because of the color of their skin? Oh, mine kind of makes you think there, right? So, Henry, did your weather get down to freezing temperature last night? It got down to 35 degrees here. On a newbie getting a taxi from the airport, you can get ripped off like no other. Also, taxis anywhere else charge you on a base rate. Yeah, I think what Jack is trying to say is if you get into taxi anywhere in the world, is my advice, and they don't kick on the meter, you know you're going to get hustled. You know you're not going to pay a fair price. And we've been in a lot of taxis, of course, over the years. One thing I highly encourage is you watch the meter to make sure it's not jumping. Jump, 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 jump. So like if it goes from, 70 cents to 90 cents without getting to 80 cents, that's a jump, and that's not a good thing. So Henry's having a not too cold of a morning. We right now it's 52 degrees there. It's 35 here, but it's probably going to warm up in the 50s today. Jack reminds people that in most places it is illegal, not all places, not to run your taxi with the meter turned on. It is that way in the United States. That's why so many people just are, for a point of clarification, like doing the Grab and the Ubers, because they quote you a price up front and say it's going to cost you $5 to get from the airport to your hotel. That's it. There's no guesswork. All the guesswork is taken out of it. And I think taxi services would be smart if they would start to adopt that type of model. So Jack is saying, because he's a lawyer, by the law, the meter has to print a receipt. If you do not get that, and he's talking about in the Philippines. So in this country, the taxi does not have to print a receipt. So in the Philippines, Jack is referencing that. And the key in the Philippines is, do your diligence, but I highly recommend just taking Grabs and things. But if you get in a taxi and they don't turn on the meter, but they do that for everybody. I mean, there's times that my wife, who's Filipino, has been in the Philippines and they try to rip her off without me in the car. No more snow. Hey, buddy, how are you? Most Asian countries started adopting a VAT tax, and all invented in Las Vegas. If there is a VAT tax, I do not tip. I agree. Value added tax is what that stands back. All right, Henry. I would agree because then you'd be tipping on top of a tax or another. I agree. You're already being gouged for. When you're looking at that, you're already paying some stupid extra fee just to be a tourist, right? And now they want you to tip on top of it, and I don't think that's cool. So we do the same. We're with you, and there are a lot of hotels and chains around the world now that charge you a resort fee. So you got to book the hotel. So you book your hotel room, and then there's a resort fee of like $12.50. And what the hell is the resort fee? Well, it's so that you could walk down and swim in the pool if you want. So before, all of that used to be included. I don't see any of that as a skin tax because I don't think it matters what color you are. I think you get charged. But in countries where there are a skin tax, do you think it's okay? Do you think you should just go, it's the way the culture is and take it and deal with it? Or, if you go up and buy the mango, the person before you paid 50 pesos or 50 cents, and now they want to charge you 90 cents. Is that fair just because it's the color of your skin? And what's the motivation behind it? Is it truly to punish somebody? To single out, hey, we know that you're not one of us, so we're going to charge you more? Or is it because since they assume that you're not one of them, that you have more money than they do? I don't know. That's kind of the way it was like in Aruba. They didn't know I didn't fit in there. Aruba, is a Dutch colony, a Dutch country. I'm white. Man, I fit in there perfectly. But, cruisers have to pay a little bit more because we're going to the tourist spots. And they know, hey, why else is this butthead coming in here on that big bus from the cruise line other than they're a tourist? So they got to pay money. I don't know. It's an uneducated foreigner tax type scam because a lot of them don't know any better. Well, and that's kind of my question. I disagree. I think what you have to look at from talking to everybody over the years is a lot of them just don't want to bother with it. So, and what we have, what we call our vacation millionaires, right? And I'm this way. When I go on vacation, I tip. I tip my housekeeping staff, all kinds of stuff. So I tip extra. But a lot of times you just don't care because let's say you're paying 60, if you're in the Philippines, we'll pick on the Philippines, which I wasn't going to do. But we buy a mango for 60 pesos in the Philippines, which is cheaper than what we would buy it for in America. And so now they make me pay 70 because I'm a white guy. It's still cheaper than what I paid in America. So to us, to most visiting people, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't add up. It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth fighting, and we kind of expect as tourists to be gouged a little bit, which is sad that the world is that way, but it is that way. No More Snow says, I am noticing where the tourists eat, there's a VAT tax. So is it really a skin tax, right? If they're charging people across the board, any skin color, and that's what I mean. I went to Aruba. Aruba's a white country. We got, I paid $8 for a baby beer. You know what I mean? But I could go in the interior part because that's where the tourist goes. If I went inside the country a little bit, I would only have to pay normal price. Yes, Jack, we know you've been there a very, very long time. Value added, Jack is saying no. He's telling you No More Snow that a VAT is not. By definition, it is not, Jack. I get it. We get it. We're not talking about the legal definitions because is there a legal definition of skin tax, Jack? No. The VAT tax is a value added tax, and technically under Philippine law, it does not go against your skin. I get it. But a lot of restaurants and resorts charge you that no matter what skin color you are. And I know you haven't traveled in many years because you're stuck in the Philippines, but I'm just telling you, a value-added tax at hotels and restaurants happen all the time. As No More Snow was talking about, it started out in Vegas and still happens to this day. We pay it when we travel to other resorts. So there is an additional VAT tax, VAT tax, value-added tax. And that's by them saying, look, it's another revenue stream to collect money from us. A skin tax is the same way. It's another revenue stream for us, for them. So. Luffy's in the house. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Yes, Jax. Businesses are the ones that charge a VAT tax legally. Yes, that's what we're talking about. You got the hotels and the restaurants and places like that add a VAT tax. They can't come out and charge you a skin tax, right? Because they're collecting money as a business. The mom and pop shops who are collecting cash, they charge you a skin tax. So, but is it not the same tax? Same thing. And is it has to do with your skin color is what I'm asking, or does it have to do with your skin, or just being a foreigner or a person who's on vacation, a tourist? So, but Lovely's in the house. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Good morning. Thank you for the thumbs up. Because we've traveled a lot. Been charged a lot of extra for a lot of stupid shit. Bottled water, $4, Well, so is that a punishment for me being a tourist or punishment for me being a white guy? Now, what we can look at, Henry's back in the house, thank you, Henry, is this okay? Is this unacceptable? So, okay, and I know Jack's getting hung up on VAT. So let's eliminate the VAT tax. just, we'll eliminate it for you. We'll pretend that it doesn't happen anymore. If you travel anywhere and your skin color is a different color than the indigenous population, and it's easy recognizable, and they charge you more because you don't look like a local, is that okay? That's where I'm going with this. Is that okay? We all know that it happens. And if we know it happens, isn't it okay then? Because wouldn't it be not okay when we don't know it happens? So if we go into a country, right, and I don't know that people are only paying 50 cents a mango, and they charge me 75, is that really a tax? And then you also got to ask yourself this question. Isn't the world all about free enterprise? So there's nothing that says that they have to charge me, they can't charge me 70 pesos for a mango. They have a right to do that, right? Playing devil's advocate, they have a right to charge me more. If I'm willing to pay it, then what's the problem? All right, Jack, we got it. So if I don't know that they charge me 15 extra cents for a mango, is it a tax? Then is it okay or not okay? But if I know this happens, then it has to be okay because I have the choice, the right to move on somewhere else and get my little mango somewhere else. I expect when we travel to pay more for things than the people that live in that part of the world pay. I expect it. I know it. It doesn't shock me when, the 50-cent mango costs me 70 cents. It doesn't surprise me, It doesn't surprise me, So I go down the road and I bargain with somebody else. Say, well, how much is this mango here? Well, that mango's 85 cents. Well, then maybe I go back and buy the 70-cent one. So is it truly a tax if you know it's going to happen? And you choose to pay it. No More Snow says, on my advice, after traveling a lot, and and I know you travel a lot, don't buy it. Yeah. You can always try to work them down. And I encourage people to that. I do that when we travel. We were on a cruise one time in the DR, I think, and we're on this excursion, and somebody tries to run this soft salami where they want to give me this weird little wooden necklace they made, and now they want me to buy these cheap fake Cuban cigars, and I told him no. And he's like, well, man, I just gave you a necklace. I took it off and gave it back to him. I said, well, here you go, keep your necklace. I don't want your shit. So you have the choice, right? You have the choice to pay or not to pay. Depends on how much you want that mango. That's what I think. So the real questions are this. Are they doing it because of the color of your skin? Or is that just a red flag saying, I don't fit in here, so I must not be a local? Jack says he bargains at the market all the time, which is a good thing to do. And be willing to walk away is the key of anything. Even in America, if you're going to go buy a lawnmower, you need to be willing to walk away from the deal and shop around and find a better deal. Yeah, you can talk them down there. And this is kind of everybody bitches about the skin tax, right? But if you agree to pay it, then do you have any right to bitch? And that's kind of my point. Like Henry is saying, if you are out and about and they want to sell you a mango for $1 and you can get them to sell it to you for 60 pesos, or $1, 60 cents on the dollar, you should try to bargain them down because of course they're going to try to make more money, but that's free enterprise. That's like me saying, look, or a bar. What do you think bars do? Bars buy cases and cases of beer and they bust them open and they charge you $4 for a can of beer that only costs, 75 cents. So I think a lot of people are bitching about the tax, about skin tax. Jack, I'm not saying you're bitching. You're getting too sensitive. What I'm asking is, are people offended? Why are people offended by the skin tax when we know that's what happens? We know that there's a travel addict tax. So I won't use the word VAT. A travel addict tax when you go to hotels and resorts and casinos and other places. We see it all the time when we travel. That's a tourist tax, right? So we all know this is about it. What's the problem? What's the problem? If you don't want to pay it, don't pay it. You just may not get your mango that you really want. So you got to be willing to walk away and go, man, today's not my day for having a mango because I don't want to pay that value. But I think people get really mad because of the skin tax, because they think they're being discriminated against. No, it's free enterprise. I don't think free enterprise is a form of discrimination. I just don't. I think it's business. If I can get you to buy a car from me, $20,000 over list price, well, that's your problem, not my problem. What's the problem is the question for you. I don't understand. Bars can charge whatever they want when they own the liquor license. Well, yeah, in America, they get a liquor license and they can sell you their alcohol products. It's the same thing with the car dealership, but they just got to find customers willing to buy it. The only good thing about bars is people are too drunk and stupid to realize how much inflated price it is. It's a drug. They want that alcohol really bad. But you can go to the car dealership, and the car dealership is going to say, well, I mean, we had it happening in this part of the country here, because where we're at here, we had car dealerships, getting $50,000 and $60,000 over retail price on vehicles. But if people would just drive down to Dallas, Texas, that wasn't happening. So everything can be bought and sold for whatever you're willing to pay for it. Should you worry about a skin tax when you're on vacation? That's one of my questions for people, because I get that everybody sends me messages. I am so pissed off. I am so pissed off. They charged me. Well, no, they offered you a product at a price, and you either choose to pay it or not to pay it. HDN says, I talk to bar owners down all the time on their prices. Yeah, I think that's a good key. Seems kind of quiet without the waterfall. Well, I could take some water out of the fish tank for you. So I think it's up to you. I personally don't worry too much about a few pesos here and there. Everybody needs to make a living. Everybody needs, so I don't have a big problem with it. Kiko, what do you think about skin tax? My experience in the Philippines is they can get their money to overpay. They will, absolutely. I do, no more snow. I absolutely agree with you. I think there's a culture in the Philippines, if they can get you to overpay, they will. But is that okay? Is it a bad thing? Is it appropriate? Is it a reason to hate the Philippines? Or is it just one of those things that you put up with to be in a country that you want to be in? We know we're going to pay when we travel on cruise ships and does other trips. Even here in America, when we travel, we know we're going to pay more. We're going to go to the hot spots, and the price is going to be a little bit more. I mean, you go to Vegas and on the Strip, everything's way more expensive on the Strip than if you just grab an Uber and go 2 miles off the Strip. You know? And that's the culture of Las Vegas, right? Get what they can get from you. Philippines, the same way, I believe. So, and this is well known because I get messages on a regular basis asking me about the skin tax in the Philippines. And what I try to tell guys is, look, if you can't afford the Philippines, then don't go to the Philippines. If you can't afford to pay that little extra tax while you're on vacation, then don't do it. I do tell them, so if you live there, you kind of get to know the locals, and or your fiance, bride, whatever she will be, your wife, can handle a lot of the purchasing. They're also shifting in the Philippines to where you got to realize it's the mom and pop operations that are charging the skin tax. If you go to the mall, there is no skin tax because it's pre-priced. So, Dennis, what do you think of the skin tax? Hello to me. No more snow, Jack. Buy his arm candy and all the rest. Hey, Dennis from HTN. I had somebody message me the other day about the skin. They were furious about the skin tax in the Philippines. And man, he wrote me this long email, and I'm just like, damn, man, you got too many panties in a bunch to be so unhappy and miserable while you're hanging out in the Philippines. I got this big email the other day. So it's what made me think of this, because I like the skin tax, but I don't like I like skin, but I don't like the tax. That's funny. But for you guys who travel a lot, we experience it. We know it's going to happen. So is it a problem, or is it something we just factor into our travels and planning? I know I do. No matter where I travel, I factor in tips and I factor in higher prices. And a higher price at a McDonald's in Las Vegas versus a McDonald's in Fort Smith, Arkansas, that's part of it. And that's a value-added tax. That's a tax, a tourist tax, because Jack doesn't like the VAT tax thing. So that's how they look at it. So is it okay? I don't know. Do we, and in the United States and other first world countries, do we have a skin tax here? Do we charge people more for the color of their skin? Is it a form of punishment? Is it a form of racism? This guy went on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just reading his email and I'm thinking, holy Jesus, shit and fart and fight Christ. My God, if you're that freaking miserable, then pack your shit and get out, Always having to pay the tax. Oh, I like this, Dennis. We should be fortunate that we get a skin tax, because that means we are in the top percentage of the world's population. That's a good way to look at it. And we are very fortunate. And to be honest, Dennis, that's why I don't sweat it so much. Because I tell people, when we're living in the Philippines and we would order Jollibee through the app, or Mang Inasal, or whatever the freaking place, I don't know, wherever it come from, Red Ribbon, it really didn't matter. I would always give the driver, the delivery guy, who I think deserves a big tip, a nice, tip. And the girls are all going, oh my God, no, 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 no. You're giving them way too much money. And I'm like, well, did you ride that motorcycle? Bringing this food here, and did you ride it through the heat and the traffic and all the bullshit and the pollution to get our food to our house? Did you do that? No, that guy did that. I know he does it for a living, but he did that. So I'm okay with giving him a few extra pesos. Yeah, well, here we get charged. Yes. Yeah. And that price gouging, is so wrong. And, natural disasters, emergency things, it gets crazy here. I agree. At least here, if you get caught price gouging, then you can be in legal trouble because it's no longer free enterprise when you're withholding or jacking up the prices that people need and cannot get anywhere else due to a disaster or war or a medical issue. It's kind of like the story of that guy when C-19 hit. If you guys remember, he went out and bought all of the, like, I can't remember what he bought. Was it Lysol and toilet paper? And then he stocked it up in his garage. And then he started trying to sell it, the toilet paper maybe it was. And he tried to sell it on the internet for like 10 or 12 times what he paid for at Walmart. Well, all of that went away. He got in trouble. All right. I think Kiko has a great point. I'd rather give a generous tip to someone who is not trying to scam me. I would agree. I would agree. Oh, God. Yeah, Common Sense Yank is in the house. So, yeah, Dennis didn't say hello to you, Kiko. So I think this. I think that's why he is called the Common Sense. Yep, that's right, Common Sense. But I think people getting mad over the skin tax is ridiculous. That's what I want to say. People getting pissed off because the skin tax is there is stupid. The nice thing about Thailand is they give you back any sales tax you have paid when you leave. Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. Wow. Joe's in the house. Good morning to myself and everybody else. Good to have you here, Joe. It did, and that's kind of my point, because I was reading this dude's email and I'm like, damn, boy, man, why are you so miserable hanging out in the Philippines? And he didn't say what his status was. So he didn't say whether he was married or single or living there or just on vacation. He didn't tell me any of that in his email. So I don't know what his status was. But people who want something to be upset about because their life sucks. I agree. And what I'll say about that is it's not my fault your life sucks. I didn't get you into that situation. I didn't make those bad decisions. Nice. Kiko saying our daughter is off to her first in-person interview for her chosen pathway. That's outstanding, man. Congratulations. Yeah, we could get up every morning and find many things to be pissed about. Well, I think there's people that do, and it's sad. One thing, I think people that get mad all the time, this is maybe going a different direction here, but in my experience, all my years, and I remember I'm very wise because I'm over 1,000 years old, the people that are always mad are the people that stand and try to piss upwind and have the piss come back and hit them and then bitch about it. Is that type of person. They're too stupid to turn around and piss downwind. So those are the ones that are mad all the time. I see a rent charge coming. There you go. Pay some rent, baby. Yeah. Well, I'm just happy to wake up in the morning. Well, I'm usually happy, but man, my back is throwing me fits. So I'm going to not be very happy today. I do all the time, but I'm more mad at myself. Well, okay. So if you're mad at yourself, what do you do about it? Do you take it out on others? And, you know, if you made a bunch of stupid decisions, we've all made stupid decisions. So, but the character of a man is somebody who can recognize their own failings and then prove upon them. You know, when we make a mistake, the best thing we can do is own it and then do something about it, not sit there, bitch, and whine and be mad about it and cry about it. Because that just shows that you're not a man, that you're just a weak, cowardly little person. So I encourage you, Joe, the question is, what do you do about it when you're mad at yourself? I know it's really hard when you're mad at yourself to do anything constructive. And a lot of times you get blinded and you don't know how to get out of that or how not to be mad at yourself for the decisions that you've made. So what do you do, Joe? Do you stay mad at yourself or do you divert your attention or do you work on something? What is it that we do? Stay away from everybody until you can try to fix it. Yeah, and one thing I've learned, the things that we get mad at ourselves about, and it's what humans do, right, are usually big items. And so it's really hard to fix or to fix 100%. We get mad at ourselves usually because we've done something really stupid. And that's right. Dennis says, if I need to punish myself, all I have to watch is wheels on the bus go round and round. Wheels on the bus go round and round. I know what you mean. So I'm with you. I gave up being mad at myself. I did. I figured this part out. Whatever I did to get myself in a situation where I'm mad at myself, I did it. You didn't do it. My brother didn't do it. My dog didn't do it. My whatever didn't do it. My neighbor didn't do it. If I'm mad at myself for something I did, or the way I behaved, or the fact that I didn't do something, that's on me. That's on me. It's on nobody else. Nobody else. And I'm that way. Nobody else. But I do think it's important to recognize our failings and move on from them. That's right, Dennis. None of us get out alive. So maybe, you know, just because I'm old and wise, remember I'm over 1,000 years old now, that while you are alive, you might as well try to enjoy it to the best of your ability. And I tell people all the time, and I have for many thousands of years, if something gives you a headache, take an aspirin and get away from it. He's experiencing internet issues today. Tony's experienced internet issues. So his bus, the wheels on the bus aren't going round and around. So or maybe it's the motor on the bus that's spinning, because the internet's not working. That reloading thing, does that kind of look like a wheel? No More Snow says, I don't mind the skin tax because I realize that I won the skin lottery in reality. Yeah, that's a good point too. I think that's a very well said, very pointed. Would I want to be another skin color? No, to be honest. I mean, this skin color is the easiest one to have in the world. So I'm with you. I mean it. I'm with you. Dennis says, Tony's experiencing many issues. Waiting for Panay customer service. Good luck with that. I agree with you, though. I totally agree. I think our skin tax is probably the easiest skin to have. I agree. Be wise, open your eyes. It's the hardest skin color. You just got lucky. Yeah, I think that's what we all agree. I think we all agree that if you're my skin color, that in some ways you've gotten lucky, but in other ways you have to realize there's more expected out of us. which is not, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. But yes, I feel lucky in this. I have probably taken advantage of it many a times. I've told you the story that, I've been out and about with friends from different races before, and the police come up. They don't speak to me. We've been out in public walking the streets at like a bar scenes, and I don't get approached. It's the other people that get approached. So then, if we are blessed at this skin color, is what we're all saying we are, then we shouldn't bitch and complain about the skin tax. Soon as I won't be able to see the skin of anybody. Yeah, if you lose your eyesight, you can't see skin color anyway, right? But in this, Kiko, thank you. And I agree with Kiko. The only color that they, and I'm going to say anyone, really see is green. I'm going to change that up, Kiko. Say the only color that matters is green. Let his sink in, savants, the odds of being born 1 in 400 trillion. So be happy. Yep, I agree. Be Wise says, I'm white, and I have had hundreds of encounters with corrupt cops. So, like I said, you got lucky. Well, I know corrupt cops. I have been lucky. Do I trust anybody? No, man. I trust but verify. So I think being lucky is not just the skin color. I think it's truly about being smart. And I think, and that kind of goes back to the skin tax. Do you want to be happy? If you want to be happy, well, it's okay to give a street vendor a few extra pesos for that damn mango. Why fight and argue with it? We can afford it. If you can't afford to pay the skin, this is where I was going with this. I was thinking about this guy last night who sent me this big ass email. I'm sitting there thinking through the whole thing. Well, if you can't afford to pay a few extra pesos for a damn mango, then you can't afford to be in the Philippines, is what I really thought when I read his email. So if you can't afford this, then why in the hell are you there? There's corruption everywhere, every walk of life. There is. I will tell you that. I spent 25 years in higher ed. Corruption all over higher ed. And thank you for giving us a thumbs up, by the way, everybody. Subscribing to the channel. Very important. So I appreciate all of that. Appreciate the conversation this morning. But there's corruption in higher ed. There's corruption in the medical field. There's corruption in law enforcement. There's corruption everywhere. And a lot of them will push it, and they know when to pull back. Push, pull back, push, pull back. There are certain types of corruption that we shouldn't tolerate and put up with, but when we're talking about a free enterprise, is it really corruption? So, and Dennis, I think I know the answer to this question for you, but would you guys consider what we're calling the skin tax a form of corruption? Would that be considered that? I personally don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think it's just free enterprise. Well, exactly, Henry. HDN, exactly. If he's bitching and harping so bad about the skin tax in the Philippines, I'm sure he can't live here. This is the first email I ever got from this guy. But I don't know what his problem was. But man, he wasn't bitching at me. He was venting about having to pay the skin tax in the Philippines. And I'm just like, man. And I got that feeling. He's probably one of those read between the lines. I would probably think he's one of those deadbeat Americans who went to the Philippines with very little money and now wants, everybody else to feel sorry for him. Supply and demand, Kiko, you're absolutely right. Supply and demand is exactly what it is. Dennis is saying, yes, wow. CSY. Cover your sassy Y. I don't know. I forget what I say 30 seconds ago, Dennis. But yes, I'm with you. and I tell people this, common sense shank, sorry. So see, sometimes you gotta spell out the acronyms for me, then I get them. I'll make a note, because you have a lot of acronyms I have to remember. It's like I take a college class, and I took a college class on government acronyms. One of the hardest freaking classes I ever took. Because we had to learn all these god dang dinkin' government acronyms. Drove me crazy. So I see letters everywhere now. That's not Cosby, Stills, and Nash and Young for us old farts. There you go. That's a good group. Good group. So I haven't written this guy back. I haven't sent him an email back yet. I'm letting it digest in my brain, and I'm trying to get a consensus of what I'm going to tell him. That's why I brought this topic up today. So could be common sense yank. How many places are cheaper than the Philippines? A lot. It's one thing I've been telling people. The Philippines is not as cheap as you think it is anymore. And I should do a video, and I want to do a video about, I think the Philippines is becoming westernized. So it's not the Philippines of the days of old. 6 feet under buys arm candy. Uzbekistan. No Snow says, I think Thailand's better, is what he says. He prefers Thailand. Somalia, there you go. Right now, the Gaza Strip, a lot of places are cheaper. And not saying there's anything, because I don't want people hating on me as of the Philippines, but I think the Philippines has a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses, just like America. But there are so many other places that if you don't like the culture of the skin tax in the Philippines, if you can't handle that, go live somewhere else. It's like in America. If you don't like how America is, and there's a lot of expats that don't, so they pack their shit and they move off. That's okay. Nobody's holding it against you. Philippines is one of the highest price Asian countries. Yeah? And it's not getting any better, because like I've alluded to, I think the Philippines is headed towards the mentality that they're a first world country. And my wife and I have talked about this, and some of her friends and I've talked about it, the older friends. And yeah, a lot of them feel like the Philippine people are losing who they are, and they're becoming what we're calling westernized. Kiko says, it's been a while. Oh, so Henry said, sorry. It's been a while since I've been there, but I know it's still cheaper than here. Yes, but let me say this. I agree and I disagree, and let me just throw that out. I think if you compare lifestyles, it is not cheaper. It's cheaper in the Philippines if you're willing to take a different lifestyle. But if you want the exact same lifestyle that you have here, it's not cheaper. Yep, that's what I do. You just have your wife deal with it and act like you are bored, not interested in it, and that you really don't want her to buy those mangoes, and she'll get the price down for you. That's what I do when we go out and about. I just let Lorelai deal with it, and I just stand around acting like I'm irritated, in hopes they'll give her a really good deal because she's married to that mean foreigner guy. So, H&N says Japan is expensive. Yeah, we have a relative living and working in Japan. And we had a good friend's son stationed in Japan. Boy, he loved being there, but, it's a little pricey there. So yeah, and I'm going to write this guy back later today, but I'm only going to write him back a couple of sentences. I'm trying to summarize in my brain how I want to respond to him, because I respond to everybody's emails, everybody's messages, everybody's comments. I don't let anybody go unresponded. So, but I still think the Philippines is a good place for everybody to retire if that's what they want. I do think you could find better places. You can definitely find cleaner places if you're willing to live in a more trashier environment. Then the Philippines is okay. And he said, yeah, that's true, but that's also everywhere too. Yeah, it is. But I think that's what you got to look at is it's like my God. You know, let's just say, for instance, the house that we live in here, we live in a very expensive part of Arkansas. And if I took and moved this house to parts of Alabama, I could save $150,000. But if I took this exact same house and moved it into Florida, I would probably pay another extra $100,000 for this house, if not more. So it all depends on the lifestyle that you're willing to live with. And if you can't live with it, then don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't. You know, you got to be smart about, and you can't, and it's one thing I tell people is you can't count on anything. You just can't. You can't rely on others. You can't rely, you know, for sure that your Social Security check is going to show up every month. Because maybe you'll get one of those letters and you didn't see it asking you if you're dead or not. And if you get a letter asking if you're dead and you don't respond, they assume that you're dead. And then they cut your Social Security off. Like, woohoo, you know, we found another one that's dead. You know, let's go spend that money on toilet seats. You know, whatever it may be. So, but yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of times I don't feel the skin tax is right morally, but it is business. It is business. No more snow. No more snow says. Just compare Airbnbs between Manila and Bangkok, and you'll see the cost difference. Really? All right. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Which I'm assuming Bangkok is a lot cheaper than the Philippines. Well, and that's part of where, you know, we were talking a while back with a bunch of her friends, is the Filipinas that live here in America, they've gotten very unhappy with how things are changing in the Philippines. Because even for them, when they go back, they spend way more money than they predicted they would because they haven't been back in 3, 5, 10 years, and the prices are way more than they ever remember it being. And so they go there, they blow all of their money. I've known several of them the last couple of years who blew all their money and had to get husband or somebody else to send them some money to the Philippines so they could make it through the month they were there. Because they don't budget well, because they don't realize that everything in the Philippines is going up, which is normal. It's like everything here. You go to McDonald's, you're going to pay $10 for a fucking hamburger here. You know, thank God for the Democrats, you know. So, everything's going up, without question. Everything's going up. But that's one thing I have found to be a little shocking is how unhappy a lot of the Filipinos are when they go back. And we've talked about the whole Conquering Hero thing and all of that stuff. Or yeah, buy a new vehicle. Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. Or a new iPhone, right? Gotta have an iPhone. Oh God, I can't exist in the world without an iPhone. But I don't know. So I don't have a problem with the skin tax because I think it's free enterprise. And I think I'm going to tell him that. He's probably going to get pissed because this guy wanted me to get on his bandwagon and get on the bandwagon and say how horrible the Philippines was because they do this. I don't think the value added tax or the skin tax makes the Philippines bad. I don't think it does. Kiko says, yeah, with their new windfall of relatives, yeah. You know, I'm telling you, they all come back broke. Yes, ego buying. That's right. To you, Kiko. Common sense yank in the house. Yeah, and that's what it is. And I keep telling people, and I know people get mad at me for this, but the Filipino people will be fine without the American dollar. They have been for eons. They don't need your dollar. If you want to give them your dollar, that's fine. But they don't, they'll get by without it. So, is it okay to give your Philippine family money? Sure, if that's what you want to do. Should you feel obligated to it? No. If you do, I feel bad for you. Oh, your barrow, yeah, the little donkeys, a little bit slower, but still efficient. It's probably more efficient. You know, isn't there a song about that? Dog sled in the winter. There you go. You got to make sure you can afford dog food. We pay like $40 a bag for dog food around here. I don't know what you guys pay. So, and I try to tell people this, and I'm going to tell this guy this in this email. I'm going to tell him that you know, I don't know his background, so, but I'm going to make some assumptions. I'm going to make some assumption that he's been wanting to go to the Philippines for a long time. And now that he has, he's all pissed off and unhappy about the skin tax. So what I want to convey to him, why are you letting something so trivial mess up your time in the Philippines? Because what's it going to cost you overall? To be honest, let's look at that. If you take a 30-day vacation in the Philippines, how much skin tax do you actually pay in a month? You know, I mean, $10, $20, $100. So, is it that big of a deal that you got to run your vacation there? Those are my questions. 8 people watching, give us some thumbs up, everybody. Thank you for being here. Kiko's laughs when my wife got her first pay stub and she learned what taxation really is. I know, right? What FICA is and what all these other things. And to this day, once every 3 or 4 months, my wife is always asking me, well, do you think I still should keep contributing so much to my 401k and stocks? You know, it would make my check bigger if I didn't do that. I'm going to say, yeah, but I'm protecting you for the future. So you're going to leave your deductions where they are. Because I have everything coming out of her check max into her 401k and stock purchasing. But she's like, oh, but I could bring home so much more. And I said, yeah, I know. But you got to have money when you're old in America. Joe says, but that depends on where you go. Well, what do you mean, Joe? Expand upon your answer. Whether it's worth it or the amount of skin tax. Because I think if you're on vacation, if you're going to let some trivial little amount of money, if you're going to let $100 piss you off, then you either have really thin skin, or you're just looking for something to bitch and complain about. Did you tell her about the added? Oh my God. Common sense yank tax as she should pay us. Well, it does vary. Sure, it varies. You know, one place, a mango, your skin tax on a mango could be 10 pesos. Another place, it could be 30 pesos. So, but my point is, are you going to let that, can you bargain? Sure. Can you negotiate? Absolutely. Can you move to another vendor? Absolutely. But are you going to let it get you so wrapped up that you're going to be miserable on vacation? I'd rather just pay it and move on. Because I look at, it's kind of like in America, we have convenience stores, right? So you go to Walmart, and we're trying not to drink soda anymore, but you go into Walmart and a 2-liter bottle of soda costs you, what, $2.59 Coke? You go into a convenience store and it runs you, I don't know, $2.89 or $3.05 or something. So you're paying for the convenience of that convenience store to stock it, so they charge you more than Walmart would. But isn't that the same thing as these street vendors? You're paying for the convenience of them being there. Maybe that's how you should look at it. It's a different price in Manila compared to Davao. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it is. It's a different price everywhere. I mean, you go to McDonald's here, you spend $10 and you get a 99 cents hamburger. You go, to Southern Arkansas, you can get for $10, you get one hamburger and a French fry. So it is different everywhere you go, without question. But are you going to let that, you know? That's true, Kigo. It's our biggest battle. Is future financial planning for my wife. She doesn't worry too much about it. I worry about it every day. And so I'm working hard and putting things in place to make sure that long after I'm dead, she's taken care of. She doesn't like that, but I know she will appreciate it in the future when she has money or she doesn't owe on a house. So she'll hopefully will appreciate it down the road. So, and sometimes we got to do things for people that people don't necessarily like or appreciate at this point in time in their lives. So for me, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. But if you, and I got to tell this guy this, and I'm going to try to word it nicely, but if you can't afford to live in the Philippines, then don't live in the Philippines. If you can't afford to live in Thailand or Germany or anywhere, then don't do it. Why would you do it? You had to have money to get there. If and traveling's not cheap. So you didn't factor this into your equation that, my food may cost me a little bit more. If I go to a local street vendor versus going to the store, I'm going to pay more. To me, it's just poor planning and execution. And I think it's their fault. There you go. Kiko says where you can just cash it all in and buy new karaoke machines for everybody. Yeah, they would like that. You would become their besties, right? You get everybody karaoke machines and you're going to be the besties in the housey, is what you're going to be, man. Oh, God, thinking of karaoke. Jenny doesn't want to talk about after I go to the maker. Trying to get her set up for that. Well, that's good. That's what you have to do. Yeah, it would be, I have a financial plan for my wife. I just wish she was a better teammate on it. Forgotten within weeks? Yes. There's a lot of them do that. Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, all right. So I think I got it figured out what I'm going to tell this guy, right? We're going to tell him, one, if you can't afford to live in the Philippines, don't live in the Philippines. If you can't afford to go on vacation in the Philippines and you're stressed over paying a little bit of a skin tax while you're there, then you shouldn't go. Might explain to him how it actually is a free market enterprise. That might help a little bit there. And to think of it as a donation, because that's how I see it. I see it as a donation to people that have less than I do. Because I would be happy if I'm the poorest person I knew, because that means everybody around me were doing better than me. And if I'm doing okay and everybody around me is richer than me, hey, man, I just won the lottery because we're all doing good. So that's what I'm going to try to tell him today when I write up that email later, to try to get him to take a chill pill, So, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if he responds back. So that's what we've been up to since last night's live stream. Oh, wow. I've gotten a lot of gifts over the years. I've gotten some hats and shirts and watches and things, but nothing of gigantic value. And I've had a lot of students in my past bring me little trinkets to my office, stuff like that. No apples, but a lot of little trinkets that are locked up in a box or packed away in a box that, the wife can dispose of long after or after, right the day after I'm gone. She can have a garage sale and put all that crap out in the garage sale. So, well, he's there now, and that's what he's bitching about. And that is something I would tell him is why are you letting this minute amount, even if it's $100 in 30 days, while you're spending $100 isn't a lot of money when you're looking at a 30-day vacation. So if you do get price gouged for $100 over the course of 30 days, it's really not that big of a deal. If you're getting price gouged $100 a day, then you're just an idiot. So that's how I see that. And then just go shop in other places. Go to restaurants where they don't charge you extra, where it's on the menu how much it is. 295 pesos for siksik. Go to those places versus the mom and pop places that, tell you afterwards. Don't buy the mango from the little lady. Go to the store and buy it from the store. Now, even with your skin tax, you're still going to be cheaper buying it from the little lady on the stand than you would at the grocery store. That's the other thing, like convenience stores. I tell people, look, you got to pay for the convenience. So the little old lady outside of your Airbnb, it's convenient for you to walk down there and get your mango every morning versus getting in the taxi and going off to the store. Good morning, everybody, from young Mr. Sanders. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you for the thumbs up. You should come in. Yeah, Kiko says, I don't worry. I don't waste my time on people who bitch and moan. Change your circumstances. I agree with that. Like I said earlier, it's not my fault you're in the situation you're in, no matter what you did, or where you're at, or what's going on. It's not your mother's fault. It's not your father's fault. It's not your dog's fault. It's not the neighbor down the street's fault. It's not your sister's fault. It's nobody's fault but your own. Because we have to take personal accountability for us. And then thinking of personal accountability, that's kind of the other side of this coin. If you have a street vendor, let's just say, and they know that they're ripping off tourists because they're overcharging them than what they could buy a mile inland anywhere, they're the ones who, I believe, who will have to suffer the consequences of doing things dirty or wrong, not me. They're the one who's doing, quote, quote, the bad thing, right? So they're the ones who's going to suffer in the long term. It's a manifestation of their character, but long term, what is karma going to catch up with them? Are they never going to be able to get out of the hole? Are they always going to be financially destitute? Or maybe they will have some really bad things happen to them because all these times they've been ripping people off by overcharging them, by charging them a skin tax. So a buddy and I talk about this a lot. He's much older than I am, 35 years older, so he's really old. And him and I talk about, look, I would rather give up $100 and feel good about myself than I would try to beat somebody out of anything. So they're going to win. They're going to win the $100. They're going to think they won the lottery, whatever it may be. Hey, I got a victory here. I got that person to give me an extra $100. I ripped them off for an extra $100. I would rather be taken advantage of and be able to hold my head high and say, I did the right thing. If you didn't do the right thing, you didn't do the right thing. Period. I tell my kids, if you have been blessed with the physical and mental abilities that you have now, go do life. Yeah. I think it's important that people try to live a good life, a fair life, that they try not to take advantage of other people, that they don't set themselves up to where they got to be dependent on others. So I would tell young kids like your kids, no matter what you do, always stay independent. Meaning, if you have roommates, what you do is the apartment you rent, you make sure you can afford to rent it yourself if you had to. Scotty's in the house. Hello to us. Dennis, hello. Common Sense Yank at it again with some words of wisdom. Because then, if you know out of your money, you can pay all of the bills in case those other people do not do the right thing, then they cannot negatively affect you. Then you may have to find a different place for more roommates down the road, but you build in a buffer zone. And that's what I've been telling people that for thousands of years. You got to set things up to where you're protect yourself. You can't depend on somebody else to give you something because they haven't given it to you yet, so it's not yours. It's just the way it is. It's not your money, it's my money because I didn't give it to you yet, Kiko. Scotty, how are you doing this morning? No More Snow says, I have brought about 10 cartons of Marlboros here. Bought, I can't remember, no, never paid the same price. But when you need them, you pay it. But in the U.S., in the USA, it would have bought me 1 carton. Okay, so you've gotten 10 cartons and all different prices, but sum total would be less than what 1 carton in America would cost you. That's funny. That is funny. But it's a good point. I like the fact that it's convenience. You know, when you need them, you need them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a convenience store charging your money for something. But are we getting hung up on the little old lady at the fruit stand who's convenient, charging me money because I'm light-skinned? You know, do we get hung up on that? You know, or do we look at it as a convenience fee? I mean, that's how I looked at it with tipping the drivers there. I'm like, hell, like I told you, I would tell my wife and her friends that were hanging out, and said, look, that guy had to come through traffic and deal with the potholes and the pollution and the dirt, you know, and he has money invested in his scooter. So he did the hard job getting the food from point A to point B. Everybody else had the easy job. We have the easy job. We're going to eat the shit, you know, just give them some money. A little bit warmer and more humid today. Is it? Nice. We were down at 35 degrees today, so I know you're enjoying yourself in the Philippines, not having to deal with the 35 degrees weather. Even HTN got down in the 50s, I think. So, and Kiko's probably cold where you're at. Sweating even more, seeing David in a hoodie. Yes. But I'll tell you, there you go. It's a lightweight hoodie. Skin tax is a culture thing. Happens all over Southeast Asia. Yes. Sanders says, that's summertime for me. But I think overall, for me personally, let's take a vote. Then, 1, if you don't mind the skin tax. 2, if you think it's absolutely bad. 1, if it's okay. 2, if it's not okay. I think it's okay, because it's my choice whether I pay it or not. Now, versus, like we were talking about earlier, with resort taxes and fees and value-added taxes out of Vegas. Those, we don't get an option. When we booked the I think it was the Paris Hotel in Vegas, we had to pay a resort fee. They don't have a freaking resort. Kiko says, should have taken a video of my wife scraping the frost off her Vigo. Yes, we're leaving for the big W word. That's funny. That's where I'm at, Scotty. You know, if I'm willing to give you, 1,000 rupees for something that's worth 10 rupees, then as long as I know, then I think and this goes back to personal responsibility, which we find in society today, a lot of people don't have personal responsibility. It's my responsibility to figure out how much that mango's really worth. If the mango's worth 1,000 rupees or 10 rupees. I am the one who should do the due diligence. Because as we've talked about, we wouldn't go to a car dealership without doing our due diligence and figuring out what the price of the car is worth. So shouldn't we know what the mango costs? Or if the mango is something that's so cheap it doesn't really matter what it costs, then there you go. So I don't have a problem with the skin tax. I really just don't. I have a problem with people that bitch and whine about getting themselves into a situation and then expect others to feel bad for them. Like, oh, I had to pay an extra 20 pesos for a freaking mango. Well, no, one, you did not. Because one, you didn't need to buy the mango. If you didn't, want to pay it, you could walk away. So that's kind of, I see some of that. I don't know. It's kind of kooky. But when are we going to take personal responsibility as humans? Joe says he would pay it if I had to. Dave, otherwise I'll send Jenny and sit outside the store. Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, what I do is I just wander around, act like I'm bored shitless while Lorelai shops. That way, hopefully she can get the best deal. So he would send the wife in, is what he would do. He would send the woman folk. How much are the woman folk? How much for the girl? But we got to start taking personal responsibility for ourselves. True that, Scotty. If you think by the time you got them by the short hairs, then you got to give them up. Like only fuel stations in the middle of the desert, when your tank is on it is. I mean, there's times that we overpay for gas here because we need gas. Henry says, I'm complaining about the people working on the water lines here, and they are still working on your water lines? Man, it's been weeks, months, years. Scotty says, I feel the Filipino community does not make much money. So when they see someone that can pay more, why not up the price? I agree. I think they do that intentionally also. I think they do that. And I think if I was them, I would do the same. I would. I mean, look, the old boy. If I could go get a pickup truck full of watermelons or onions and sell them on the side of the road for whatever I want, and you're willing to come up and pay it, is there anything wrong with that? It's been a year. They still can't fix the water lines. You want me to come down there and teach them how to do it, HTN? I can do it. It is. Absolutely. Why do you think all these, when you go on vacations, if you go on resorts or cruise ships, they have this whole big giant shopping mall right outside the cruise ship? Well, that's a tourist trap, and that's where you're going to pay the extra money, no matter what color your skin is. But they know that you're coming off of the cruise ship. I mean, I remember paying $8 for a baby Heineken in Aruba. So come on. And if you go and pay the sticker price on anything, you're overpaying. So, Scotty, do you think the best thing to do is to buy and negotiate, or to go to the mall and buy it at the grocery store or the store, the Mango, and go in and buy it where the price is clearly marked? Henry says, I've already shown them how to fix it 3 times. The problem is they want to actually do the work because they're making money, yeah. Well, and they know better than everybody else. That way they can keep charging the city, the county, and the people the money, man. Yeah, it's not like a hammer really costs $800. Water lines aren't that hard. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's really rocket science, Henry, don't you know? Plumbing issues, really rocket science. So yeah, but I think everything's about personal choice. Over here in Southeast Asia, the banana vendor might get a little money from you, but the government really gets, yeah, it's the same thing here, right? The government's really the one ripping you off, and the government doesn't give a shit about your skin color. Yeah, well, of course, it depends on the product you're buying, if you can negotiate. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the trick I've told you guys about the Amazon tricks, right? If you got the time is money, right? If you need something in a hurry, then you're going to pay more for it. I've learned over the years with Amazon, if there's something I want to purchase, let's say I want to purchase this empty bottle of Gatorade, and by the way, I can autograph this and sell it to you for 1,000 USD. That's my going price, non-negotiable. If I wanted to buy this empty Gator bottle and it sells for $1,000 on eBay, all I got to do is put it in my shopping cart, wait a few days, kick it out of my shopping cart. A couple weeks, put it back in my shopping cart. The price is not going to be $700. I'd kick it out. I wait a few more weeks or a month, go look at it again, or they're going to send me a notice saying, gee, your water bottle is now only $500. Would you like to buy it? So you buy it. But if I need to buy this today, it's going to cost me $1,000. Autocorrect is having fun. It's rocket science, yeah. And I'm a freaking genius. Autocorrect. Scotty says, you can't walk into a McDonald's and think you can negotiate. I agree, you can't do it. Prices are fixed. You know, here, you walk into McDonald's, you pay $10 for a 99-cent hamburger, and you're happy to get it. For many, many stories, there is no hurry there. So that's what you do. That's how you get your price down. But if I need a car tomorrow, I'm going to pay out the nose for the car. If I need a house tomorrow, I'm going to pay out the nose. If I need those bananas today or mangoes today, then I can't wait for a sale. You know, if I need that alcohol because I'm an alcoholic, then I'm going to pay whatever the people charge me for the alcohol. You know, it depends on it's all need-based. Do I need grandma's mango for 60 pesos? Or can I wait and find one that's only worth 40 pesos? But what we got to do, guys, and this is part of where I was going after reading this guy's email, is I feel like a lot of people don't take any personal responsibility for themselves anymore. And not that I say I'm good at it, but I mean, I know I'm a screw up. I get it. I'm a screw up. Yeah, but at least I know it. So, maybe I should do a topic one day about taking personal responsibility for your own actions. If you walk in a place here with the price clearly marked, now you know if you're getting the skin tax. Yeah? Yes, common sense yank sense the Plan D crazy. I think we're all crazy, man. We have to be crazy. But things are getting better, right? Is that what they always say? Things are going to get better. But we also know it's all about perspective. I just seem to be getting a lot of woe is me messages lately from foreigners living in other countries. I got one from, where's that guy from? Honduras the other day. You know, and it's like, and look, it doesn't do any good to ask me for money because you're not going to get any. But he wasn't asking for money, but, you know, it's kind of like soft begging. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Tough shit. So I think we got to encourage people to take personal responsibility for themselves. It's the only way that we can make this a better world for everybody, is everybody take personal responsibility for yourselves. Quit bitching and whining. Suck it up, buttercup, and get your shit together. Yeah. Can I get an absolutely? Don't lie, don't steal, don't do bad, and hopefully good things will come to you. You know, what do they say? Because I'm getting ready to read a couple books. I'm really excited to pimp out some new philosophies. So, I don't know. Kind of crazy though, right? So that was our big topic for today, the skin tax. Let's see. Yeah, Dennis, actually I could. I could. He says, my rice supply is running short and my money tree is empty. Can you help me out? Sure. You've sent us nice things. I am more than happy to return them in favor, you know. But that's it. Only one time. Only get one chance. You know, if you can't figure out how to manage your money to where you can buy your own damn rice, you know. And his caribou is ill. Yeah, Scotty says, I don't complain. Well, see, and look, if you want to barter, I think bartering with things is fun. I think it's a lot of fun to argue over money. But I also think that just walk away. And my burro died. Well, there's your food source. If you're hungry and your burro's died, what's your problem? You could even make a winter coat out of its hide. You can grind the bones up to make glue out of. Come on now. And the dog sleds ran away. That's right. And the government's not giving me any more money. The government's not giving me money. Dennis, I ate him already. The burro or the dogs? The burro. So I can borrow your burro then, right? Oh my God. The dead burro. Now you're gonna be confused. Man, I'll tell you a quick story, then I gotta go. Because I gotta take a nap. My back's killing me. But when I was coming out of my coma, there was a picture on the wall, and something that pissed me off really bad was, I guess apparently the doctors tried to tell Lorelei and the others that they needed to ask me 50 million thousand questions, which really pissed me off. You know, but there's a picture on there, and I swear to God it had a dead burro on it, hiding under a blanket. You know, it was just a weird, trippy thing. So luckily, Lorelei took a picture of it with the phone. And then I looked at it a couple of months after that, and it was just a picture of a lake and some trees. So that's my dead burrow. Scotty says, where we live in the villages, we don't have a lot of options unless you want to go half hour away. Yeah. See, it's a matter of convenience and time. Henry wants to know, where does he send the grain of rice to you? One grain of rice. You know, that's something we've talked about. Lorelai's sister, who we've given well over $20,000 to over the years, who's now a super filthy rich school teacher and all of that stuff. One time a few years ago, something she told Lorelai, because Lorelai didn't want to give her money for something, was, well, you just need to understand that I'm never ever going to even give you a grain of rice. Yeah. Planet buys arm candy, then we will have plenty to do. Yeah, the Villages is in Florida, Scotty. You're right, the Villages. It's kind of a weird community. I've seen a bunch of videos about it. There's a lot of drama that happens down there, and not for the good, too. Yep, one grain, that's all you need. All you need is one grain. You can grow it to feed 1 million. Wake up, sweet little bye. Wake up, little bye. San Pedro, the Philippines. Oh, I'm getting the ow, crap, that hurt. I'm getting the delivery. We gotta be very, very quiet. There's a delivery coming. We don't want to scare the delivery guy off. I wonder if he's bringing more Halloween crap. Our Halloween bill keeps going up. But when the delivery guys show up, you gotta be really quiet. No, he's not here. He's going across the street. He just parked in front of my house. Should I charge them to park in front of my house when they go to somebody else's house for delivery? Henry says she's not feeling good today. Well, that's sad. Watch for the porch pirates. Yeah, there's too damn many cameras in this neighborhood, or I would be the porch pirate. Shh, that's right. Shh. We're hunting rabbits. We're hunting rabbits. Yeah, it didn't bring anything. But should I charge them a tax for parking in front of my house when they go and deliver packages to other people's houses? You know, that's the real question. I'm going to send them an invoice for, I don't know, he wasn't there but maybe 15 seconds. So I'm going to send them an invoice for 15 pennies saying that they parked in front of my house. Hopefully a new fishing pole? No. I don't know what the neighbors got. They got some big box like a TV. You know, it looked like a big TV box. I don't know what they got. But today I'm expecting a couple books and some Halloween crap coming in. So no good, like Quasi Wabbit. That's it. Quasi Wabbit. We're gonna go hunt rabbits. But I got a couple books coming in. And Lorelai ordered more Halloween crap. So this little Halloween dinner of 6 or 7 of her friends is now turning into a $1,000 Halloween party. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe since he didn't reward me his $500, he didn't want to come back. I don't know where he is. Let me check something. Henry says, why not? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to go take another muscle relaxer, put some Salon Paws on my back, and kick back and is older than 8. And take a nap, and then if I feel good when I get up, I will do another live stream tonight We'll see if we can make Jack mad again. Jack seems to get mad every time he's on live anymore. So, but we will see everybody tonight. Hopefully, I think Jack's doing a live stream. If you guys aren't busy, you can go over and see Jack's live stream. I think he's playing a gaming video. So apparently Bai's sick, so she's not doing any live streams. So other than that, I don't know if anybody doing any this morning at 10 o'clock. So I'm sure there is. So, all right, my friends, take care, enjoy, and we'll see you later.